Hey, Uncle Roddus back again. Video time, video number 132 of why I never have any fucking money. Yes, that's right. Records coming in thick and fast, and it's only been a couple of weeks since my last video, and I know I haven't made many videos this year, but of course, you know, with the COVID lockdown, it sort of stopped record buying, but I am back with a vengeance, so to speak, and there has been a lot come in. So one that's kind of come a little bit out of nowhere in left field is what's playing behind me, and I'm too far away from it. So this arrived last week. You won't be able to read the font because it's just a terrible font to read, but Noah Records, I think, is some kind of new label that's just recently sprung up, and this, I don't know if it's their first release, but it might be their first physical release, as in like on vinyl or CD even. Don't ask me, I haven't really done the research. The what is this called? The Virtual Shadow Ensemble, a virtual collective of sonic voyages. Now what they did was, this is done during lockdown and pressed up pretty smartly actually, and yeah, that's why it is called the virtual. No, that's, what is it called? Keep your distance, sorry, yes, keep your distance, as in referring to social distancing during COVID. So yeah, the guys that did this all got together virtually online and did it all, and there's quite a lot of them, there's quite a big lineup there, not many names that I know. As you can hear, it's pretty esoteric, jazzy, spiritually, poetry type, and it's a fucking awesome record. It is really, really awesome. Yeah, I'm totally blown away. There's a lot of stuff on here. There's a bit of a dub thing, and there's a bit of free jazzy noisy sort of thing, and there's kind of this sort of stuff. Yeah, real mixed and really, really, really good. This is one of the highlights of the year. I showed the, I can't remember the name of the record, hang on. This one here I showed in my last video, and this is the Clear Path Ensemble. This is kind of in similar lines, but this is a little bit more straight ahead, whereas this one's a little bit more warped in places, but I love it. It is absolutely awesome record. You're very, very pleased to get it. So that turned up, and that is what you can hear wobbling away in the background. Right, I'm going to just randomly pick these out. So there's a mix of stuff. Not all of this is New Zealand this time. I splashed out and bought the new, you know her name, Lucinda Williams, Good Souls, Better Angels. This is her latest record. This is a double LP with a bonus side of acoustic demos of the tracks that are on there. Yeah, I am pretty late coming to Lucinda. I've been aware of her for many years. And I've heard a couple of tracks here and there on uncut CDs and stuff like that, but her voice put me off a little bit, to be honest. I don't know, but yeah, no, to be honest, this is fucking great. Yeah, really dirty blues, some of the stuff on here, and there's a few ballads, of course. I mean, she's not a young lady anymore, is she? Been around for many years. So yeah, this is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it, and really pleased that I got this. So that is just showing up. So I have been cleaning tonight, and my wife is working, so I've got the lounge to myself. I've been blasting a bit of music. All these new records arrived today. The reissue of the Straight Jackets Fits first LP, originally released in 1988 on CD. It got a 1990 vinyl reissue, and I think that's been it till now as far as the vinyl's concerned. I did pick up the other record. They've got 3 albums out. I mean, the Fits, I mean, I'm familiar with them for many years, but never actually owned any of their records, and they never really fired me up in my youth. But I do really enjoy them. So this was their first LP with their most famous song, She Speeds. And this is reissued on Flying Nun just this last few weeks. So there was a reissue of their second LP, Melt, which I picked up late last year. I actually found an original copy of that, so I didn't actually pick up the reissue. So there's only one more of theirs to get as far as their full LPs are concerned. Also arrived earlier this week or last week, this monster set, Soul Jazz Records compilation. Yes, Soul Jazz, I really dig a lot of their compilations. I'm not into dub. I'm not a dub person, to be honest. I mean, I don't mind it, but I'm not a big dub. And they do a lot of dub compilations, but they do a lot of other stuff too. And I mean, I've got a whole lot of their punk compilations they put out a couple of years back. They're really fantastic. And I've got a couple of jazz ones and some others floating around. I haven't got a lot of them. I mean, they have a lot of music. So, triple LP Kaleidoscope. New Spirits, known and unknown, from the UK jazz scene. So, this is most of the stuff I've never heard of, but what really got me onto this was the ill-considered track, Long Way Home, live at the Crypt. Man, that is a fantastic piece of jazz, absolutely stunning piece of music, and the rest of it unfortunately doesn't quite keep up with that, but after a few listens, some of it is, a lot of it is starting to grow on me. I'm starting to get to appreciate it, but there is a lot to get through. I actually downloaded the download and put it on my headphones, and been listening to it on my headphones at work while I've been working. So yeah, that's really cool. That's I'm enjoying that a lot more than those Japanese jazz ones that I bought a few months back, which were on another British label. More international stuff. I picked this up now. My wife had brought home a couple of uncut magazines out of the library. She gets them for me from the library, so I don't buy them anymore. But it's kind of a nice way to read them and listen to the music, and then return them for someone else to read. So that's kind of cool. And one of the CDs had a track by this band, or this fella and his band, and absolutely blew me away. But it turned out that's off their latest record, and I have been unable to find a copy of it local. I am not that keen to try and buy from overseas, well, not that I haven't done, but I'll get to that. But yeah, overseas is not most reliable at the moment, and I understand Germany's not shipping anything out, and I just had a little bit of trouble with that on another record I just bought recently, where I didn't realise it was coming from Germany, and then they said, oh, we can't ship them out, and then they managed to get a parcel to one of our shops in New Zealand, and then they shipped it to me from there. I don't know, complicated story. Anyway, can't find the latest album, but came across this on the Flying Out website, so I picked up a copy. It just arrived today. Had to listen to it tonight. Yeah, really nice. Side 2 is absolutely cool. Really enjoying that. So this is kind of quite soulful. I think Curtis Mayfield was a reference point. Yeah, not a sort of music I know a lot about, but I am familiar with some of the people who used to make it. And this is the modern version of it. Yeah, really good. I'm enjoying this, and I may have to try and get a copy of the new one, because that song, Morning in America, is absolutely stunning piece of music. This one's just arrived, the new Red Fountain record. Is it Red Fountain? Red Fontaine? Fountain? How does she say it? Anyway, she was a local girl per se. I mean, she wasn't born in New Zealand, but I think she's lived here most of her life. And her last LP was really, really good. She used to play as part, and does still occasionally, I think, play as part of the Eastern. And her first LP, it was about her third record, but her first on vinyl, which was the last one she did, and an EP, was really, really good, and it was quite Americana. This one is a lot more poppy, and there's a lot more happening in it. So yeah, I'm still getting to grips with it. There was a track called When Gods Lie, which I was quite familiar with, that she put out as a single, which Chris had played on his radio show. I'm not sure what the other side of that single was now, but that's a pretty cool song. So yeah, I am still getting to grips with it, but it's pretty cool. But not like her old one, and I really, really liked her last LP. Tales from the New Zealand Underground, Alistair Galbraith, second Mark III. I'm not sure about the other two. So Alistair has a rather large catalogue. He's been around for many years. I mean, this guy is the antithesis of the New Zealand Underground. I mean, this is raw, underground, lo-fi. You know, some of it's just stream of conscience, making up the lyrics on the spot, strumming the guitar of a mate and thinking about taking your car in for a warrant and replacing a broken window, and some of it's a bit more esoteric than that. And So yeah, I'm ambivalent towards some of it, but some of it's really cool. Yeah, like I say, very underground. I mean, Alistair he was in a couple of bands, you know, out of Dunedin back in the 80s, semi-legendary, but only to people who really know New Zealand music, but certainly wouldn't call him a household name. And there's certainly no commercial potential. But yeah, really nice to have it. He has a massive discography, quite a massive discography. I don't have a lot of it, but there's several on vinyl. I have about 3 now. There's probably a few more floating around I don't have, I think. And then there's the... didn't I just get a copy of Morse was reissued last year? I got a copy of that. That was his, I think. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So, reissues. Talking about reissues. This has just come in the last couple of days. Now, wasting our time, the Underdogs. This is a rare New Zealand psych rock album from 1970. This is their second LP. This is out on Wawa Records out of Spain. Now Wawa they did release another couple of New Zealand records that I have on vinyl from the 70s, really good records. So they have been not focusing on there's about 5 or 6 New Zealand ones they've put out now. So this just came in this week. It's a reissue. It's pretty much, I think, the original cover and sleeve and everything. They've done the old fold back on it, try and make it look a bit more authentically old. This record goes for $200 odd, second-hand OGs if you can get them. So it's not one that I was going to pick up. So of course jumped on it. Yeah, it's got a pretty good reputation, but to be honest, it's a good record, but there's a couple of clangers on here that really don't turn me on at all. The vocals aren't very well recorded. Yeah, I think the record gets a bit more hype and people get a bit more excited about it than I think is worthwhile. Why not put the stickers on that? So, yeah, so that's that, but still, I'm really pleased to have that. And the first LP they put out before that with a slightly different lineup is also getting a reissue on Wawa. It hasn't actually hit the shops as of yet. Also out of Wawa just turned up is this. Now this is a band from 1970 called Farmyard, and I believe this might be their second LP, Back to Fronting, and it is really, really good. I mean, the Farmyard LPs are going for $300, originals $300 to $400. So yeah, again, not one I'm going to pick up. They don't turn up very often. There was a double LP, I think unofficial issue of them a few years back, which I know a couple of people picked up, but I'm pretty sure you can't buy that on Discogs because it was unofficial. I could be wrong, but yeah, progressive rocky, progressive hard rocky sort of thing from the 70s. Really, really good record. I am actually, to be honest, it's a lot better than I thought it was. I know that collectors sort of salivatate over it, but I thought it was one of those records that maybe isn't as good as it could have been, as the money that people pay for it make out to be, but actually it is really good. And then this one, also, this is Farmyard's first LP, just called Farmyard. Now look, it's in a bag. So this is what happened. This is actually not totally authentic, but this is reproduction of the original bag that came with it. So this is what it was. I understand because someone asked me to post a picture of this, and they posted a picture of the original bag, which was the top was cut off and it had a string with a separate handle, whereas this is all one bag. So I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I didn't think they'd go that far. So what happens is, of course, the old originals, most of them have lost their bag. So when you're buying copies, you don't actually get the cover per se. It does have this cardboard inner sleeves. I'm not sure if this is an exact reproduction of the original, because I've never seen an original, but I'm pretty sure from pictures I've seen on Trade Me when there was a couple going for like about $300 to $500 just for that without a cover. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it looked like. So first LP from 1970 or 69 or 70, I'm not sure. It doesn't have a date. Again, really, really good. I am so glad that I bought them. I am most impressed. And they have been on my want list for quite some time. What else we got? Oh, excuse me, I've been prattling on too long again, and the record's finished. It's not a very long record. Sorry, I'll just put you back to the beginning. Okay, so today, this arrived. Something more, another obscure New Zealand indie rock type thing. This is Ingrid Shaker. No, Ingrid Saker, S-A-K-E-R. God, I'm terrible. And the Ministers, Ingrid and the Ministers. So, I'd heard a track off Chris had played on his last podcast, video show, was it? I don't know, maybe not. I'm pretty sure he must have. Although I had been listening to this actually, I didn't recognise some of it because I had been listening to it. I bought this off Bandcamp and I downloaded the thing and put it on my phone and been listening to a few tracks. So, yeah, it started off really like this. You know, this sounds like a really cool Flying Nun band from the late 80s. But then it actually got a lot rockier, a lot heavier. There's some fantastic guitar work from Tony Payne on guitars, and I think they're from Wellington. I'm not really sure. Yeah, but really cool. So first play blew me away actually in the guitaring, and really enjoying it. So another totally obscure, unknown thing, although brand new. I don't know what else they put out. I don't think anything. This could be their first record, and it might be their only record. I mean, you know, who knows with these sort of bands. And finally, more from the New Zealand underground. Oxen Ox, I don't care, I already told you, is the name of the record. It's a guy called Ben Holmes. Really don't know anything about it. Turned up on Flying Out, and so I checked it out briefly, had a quick listen to a track they had on a video or on a YouTube clip. Discovered that it was also recorded and mixed with by Stefan Neville, he of Pumice fame. So I'm well aware of Stefan. So yeah, this is that quite unique sort of underground New Zealand lo-fi sort of weird music with absolutely no commercial potential, but you know, something that people like me kind of like to listen to and buy and have in my collection. And probably won't play it a lot, but from what I've heard of it so far, I was quite impressed. Actually, Stefan Neville, Pumice, has a new record coming out that's due out any time now, but at the moment I can only see it on Bandcamp, and it's coming from the States, and they want to charge me $41 to get it here, so that won't be happening. I will just have to wait and see if some copies turn up here in the shops, and hopefully they will, because generally Flying Out does get those sort of things in. So there you go. One, two, I don't know, quite a lot of reasons why Uncle Roddus never has any fucking money, right? That's it. See you next time. Bye.